was a Fortnite mini event. And I didn't even need to show a second of it, and clearly you could tell that the Fortnite story is back. With the first season of Fortnite Chapter 6 coming to an end, we got a mini live event as we usually do. And this one actually surprised a lot of people because of the scale of this event. And in my personal opinion, if you slapped an official floating countdown and maybe a cinematic, like a 2-minute cinematic into this event, people would consider it a full live event. Now, if you haven't watched it, I'll have some of it up on the video right now, but clearly, as you can tell, it's much bigger, much grander than the previous live events that we've gotten in Chapter 5, and I think this is a new look at what we're going to be getting this chapter. If you haven't already and you like this video so far, please like and subscribe. It truly means a lot. I'm trying to get back into uploading since I've been pretty slow lately, and I'm currently working on a UEFN project called Galago, and right after this upload, I'm planning on making a whole video about what is Galago, so check that out when that comes out. And without further ado, let's get back on with the video. Now, before we talk about how really the story is back, first we need to take a few steps back on Chapter 5. Now, Chapter 5, as I've talked about in previous videos, is a chapter that I think I had a lot of wasted potential, and one of the strongest points of this chapter was probably the fact that we got the return of actual live events, or as they call them, mini events. And every season we would have a mini event that was usually 2 to 3 minutes long, and they were pretty small scaled, but they led up to the next season. And Chapter 6 is a culmination of all the mini events that we have gotten. It's a build-up, and every single mini event gets bigger and bigger and bigger every single time, to the point where the mini event that we're considering that we just got was basically the scale of the final showdown back in Chapter 1. With the story finally starting to connect itself and making sense, there is some problems that I do think Epic should fix when it comes to telling Fortnite's story, especially in this chapter and in Chapter 5. And one of those things is just getting it out there easily. Fortnite does not do any promotion for these mini events. That was the one letdown that a lot of people had for this one, because a lot of people did not know it was happening, even though there was over 3 million people that watched it. And along with that is the fact that the story quests aren't very appealing to a large audience of Fortnite players. So something that I think could fix that, and I've talked about this many times before to my friends, that Fortnite should start doing rendered loading screens again to tell the story, or at least at the end of every story quest line, they give us loading screens like they did at the end of the Chapter 5 Season 1 one. Because renders and loading screens like the cinematics that we get for story trailers are so much more cohesive and understandable. People understand the story through that. If we see it, we understand it. If we hear it, we understand it, but not as much. It's not as effective. Do I ever think we're going to get back to full-scaled live events like we did in Chapter 2 Season 8 or Chapter 2 Season 7? Have them seasonally? I don't know, to be honest. I think that Fortnite is on like a thinking stage right now. And I keep on saying this. Yeah, I even said it in Chapter 5 that they were on a thinking stage. But clearly, we could tell that every single mini live event is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So hopefully, this chapter is where we're going to get a full-scaled story live event, since it is confirmed that there isn't going to be a remix or OG season, and we're going to get a Season 5 for this chapter. So hopefully, we're going to get a full-scaled story live event, a whole culmination of the entire chapter. I really hope so. And I hate it when people compare now to then, and they're like, oh, I miss the 7, oh, I miss Geno, I miss all that, and I'm like, we're never gonna go back. To stop complaining and appreciate what we have now, because in certain chapters like Chapter 4 and late Chapter 3, we really had nothing going on. Fracture was terrible, and Chapter 4 had the most all over the place mismatched story ever. We got cinematics, but the story wasn't even understandable and made sense. There was so many loopholes in Chapter 4, so people better be appreciative of what we're getting now. I sure as hell am. That's why I was so excited for this event, and my expectations exceeded. They got blown out of the water for this chapter. And maybe I'm glazing just a tiny bit because I've been so on board with the Fortnite story ever since I started playing. It's just such a big part of the game, and I don't want to leave it. Maybe that's why, but to be honest, I think it's really good what we're getting so far. And I think people need to be more appreciative of what we're getting, because it's better than getting absolutely nothing or getting a hand coming out of the ground. No offense, Pandora's Box event. It was an event, but the event that we just got blowed all of the Chapter 5 mini events and most Chapter 1 events, except for the final showdown, out of the water. And I would honestly do a rating for live events, but honestly, I think it'd be a bit controversial. Just a bit. But I haven't seen really anyone talk about this event. I've seen a lot of people talk about it, but I don't think I've seen more of the communities say their opinions on this event. Do you guys like it? Do you guys hate it? Do you think they could have done better? Do you think they could have just added a little additions, like putting a countdown, like I said? Or just making it more aware? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'm very curious, because first, like I said, I was blown out of the water. It was amazing, in my opinion. I was speechless. Even though I saw the leaks for it like 3 hours before it came out, I was honestly speechless. So please, comment down below what you guys thought of the event. And that's going to be all for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. It truly means a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video.